Prepare to get gassed because it's time for the Week in Gear, a place where your gear addiction is treated as a perfectly healthy lifestyle choice. This week, Tone King puts a high voltage tube amp right on your pedal board, Gibson perfectly clones the stripped Les Paul that shaped Ziggy Stardust, and Gretsch drops the ultimate cure for your white Falcon itch. This episode is sponsored by Radial Engineering. More about them in a bit. But first, thank you to all the new people that joined the channel via a YouTube membership or over on Patreon. You'll see some new names up on screen and hear some in the shout out at the end of the episode today. And if you want to join them and help me reach my goal of making the show solely audience supported, there are links in the video description. Again, thank you. Now, let's kick off this week's most exciting guitar gear releases with the iconic stripped-down instrument that shaped the sound of Ziggy Stardust. If you know the sound of David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, Ziggy played guitar, you'll know this guitar. Well, the guitar that inspired this homage signature series. This is the Gibson Custom Mick Ronson 1968 Les Paul Custom Collector's Edition. Mick Ronson famously took his 68 Les Paul Custom and stripped the original ebony finish off the top, giving it the bare wood look that some people would claim allows the maple to be more resonant and toneful. The Gibson Murphy Lab has meticulously recreated this instrument, and yes, or no, it does not come cheap. The body features a two-piece plain maple top over a one-piece solid mahogany back. The neck is solid mahogany, carved to an authentic, that's Gibson authentic, 68 medium C shape, topped with an ebony fretboard, which features 22 frets and mother-of-pearl block inlays. So far it's a pretty Les Paul. The aged gold hardware is distressed to match the original, including the ABR1 bridge, the stop bar tailpiece, and Grover Rotomatic tuners. They've also mismatched the control knobs, which is an absolute necessary touch. My guess here is that the knobs feel different under the fingers, so it would be easier to know which ones are the volume and which ones are the tone knobs. But I could be making stuff up there and putting thoughts in people's heads. That's why I would do it. It's not just aesthetics or, losing a knob or two. Electronically and sonically, it is loaded with a pair of unpotted 68 custom humbuckers, both with Alnico 2 magnets, my favorites, and these are wired to a hand-wired harness featuring 500K CTS potentiometers and Black Cat capacitors. It is bells and whistles aplenty. I feel like I'm being a bit aloof in this. I actually really like the guitar, but it's Gibson, so it's an expensive Gibson. I should behave, be respectful, because I really like Mick Ronson. Sorry, Mick. Because it's a collector's edition Murphy Lab recreation, it is going to cost you a terrifying amount of money. It is around 10,000 notes, which is firmly in collector's territory there. Now, a bit about Mick Ronson. He was a phenomenal arranger, producer, guitarist, icon, and his playing with Bowie was dramatic and aggressive, and I think underappreciated by the guitar world, as his playing, and particularly his solos, always served the song rather than pointed the spotlight at the guitar. Yeah. That being said, back to the guitar. In the official product photos that you've been seeing on screen, I don't think Gibson have done the guitar justice, and initially I thought it was a pretty ugly attempt. But if you look at this photo, which is from the lifestyle photo shoots and from the YouTube thumbnail that they released, that gives it the character. You can see the guitar underneath and the Murphy Lab dings and dongs, and I think it's got far more aesthetically pleasing looks than first appears in the lifestyle photos. And that's what made me change my mind about this guitar. From the product photos, I was thoroughly unimpressed. From the lifestyle ones, I do truly appreciate that Gibson have honoured Mick Ronson by releasing this guitar, but it is not aimed at us mere mortals. so some of us might just want to scroll on by. But if you have the cash, the gasometer is wallet on fire. But for the rest of us, it goes back down to borrow it and enjoy those minutes of playing it. From iconic 70s rock tones, let's move over to the pedalboard. Josh Scott and the team over at JHS has dropped a brand new box with accompanying clever marketing. This is the JHS Double Dragon, and it has my nostalgia brain a-tingling. I was actually in this room playing Street Fighter 2 yesterday with my friend Steve, and I'm definitely going to load up Double Dragon after I film this. I can't wait. Anyway, back to the pedal. That's an insight into my life. Street Fighter 2 all the way, baby. In their entire history as a company, JHS has never released a dedicated analog octave pedal. Until now. Can we have some reverb on that, Victor? Until now. Thank you. Rather than giving us a pristine, perfectly tracking digital octave machine, they built the Double Dragon on the shoulders of 40 to 50-year-old analog octave divider technology. And it pays massive tribute to the legendary quirky circuits like the vintage Boss OC2, the MXR Blue Box, and the EHX Microsynth. In fact, we haven't had a pedal from Electro Harmonics for a while. Seems weird. Let's have a quick sample from the JHS crew. The Double Dragon is a monophonic, all-analog effect. The left foot switch serves as your master bypass, engaging the foundation of the pedal, and a thick, weighty analog sub-octave. And I checked out Ryan 60 Cycle Hum's video, and I think I love the amount of fun he's having in that video. I wish it were me. But the right foot switch is where things get interesting. If you press the switch on the right, assuming the pedal's turned on using the switch on the left, it engages a gritty, aggressive octave up distortion that sits somewhere in between like an Octavia and a Super Fuzz. Because it's analog, it has a mind of its own. It's a beast unto itself. It is almost alive, shall we say.
And that's the beauty. You can break it.
If you play single notes, it seems to track beautifully and turns the guitar into an absolute riff machine. But if you play complex chords, or any chords, the circuit intentionally struggles to keep up, which creates these incredibly cool, glitchy, lo-fi synthesizer textures. It has top-mounted jacks, silent buffered bypass, and dedicated volume, dry, octave below and octave above controls so that you can dial in the exact ratio of clean signal to octave madness. Whether you want those massive white stripes garage rock tones, which I do, or you are a bass player chasing the vintage 80s synth bass vibe, the Double Dragon it seems incredible, and it's priced at just under 200 notes. And as much as I want to moan about how great JHS are at marketing things and making people like me want them even though we may not need them, that there might be other cheaper options, I can't think of a more anti-TWIG, anti-Andy statement than that. So I'm all for this pedal. I love my garage rock, and this pedal makes me want to buy a cheap drum kit and grab a friend who can do 4 on the floor until the world ends. So the gasometer is at a resounding buy it now. I have a delivery. Maybe it's a pedal or a guitar. New gear and stuff that I can't talk about yet. I can't wait to make that video. Oh, subscribe if you want. You'll find out what it is, maybe. I promise when I make that video, I'll let you know that this was the moment I got it delivered. Anyway, so yeah, the gasometer with this pedal is a resounding buy it now. The Shotgun is a very clever little box that enables you to plug in your guitar and then send it to up to 4 different amps. And if you've never played guitar through 2 amps at the same time, or even 4, it is glorious. Have a listen to this guitar through the Blackstar St. James EL34. And here's the same guitar piece recorded through the Classic 20 from Peavey. And now, here's that guitar with both amps at the same time, panned in stereo. Now, there are other ways to send one guitar to several different amps. But the cool thing about the Shotgun is it's 9-volt operated, so it can sit on your pedal board. It's got a phase switch. It's got a ground lift, so if you have any nasty noises going on, you can just lift that on each one of the alternate sends. And, well, it's a Radial, so it's built well. So yes, a big thank you to Radial for sponsoring this episode of TWIG. And if you want more info about the Shotgun, there are links in the video description. On with the show! Right. Let's take a breather from the heavy gain and the octaves and talk about some acoustic guitars. I feel like I should be not dumbing down, I think I should be dimming down the lights in this bit. Dumbing down the lights. All right, okay. These guitars might be pretty excellent. This is my assumption. No, my prediction. Cort have been quite quietly making some of the best value for money guitars on the market, and now they've just dropped some beautiful new acoustic additions to their lineup. These are the Cort Core MC and Gold MC6 in Ovancol. Oh no, we're going to start another one of those counters, aren't we? Ovancol. Let me know in the comments. Both guitars feature what Cort calls their modern concert, the MC, body shape with a sleek Venetian cutaway. It looks highly comfortable, sitting in that sort of orchestra model, OM territory. The big selling point here is the tone wood. And before you warm up those comments about tone wood, remember, these are acoustic guitars, not a PRS electric. So, still friends? Okay. Both of these models feature all-solid Ovancol back and sides, and if you aren't familiar with Ovancol, it is a fantastic tone wood that shares a lot of characteristics with rosewood, usually giving you a deep, resonant low end and a very articulate treble response. But it is cheaper than rosewood and more sustainable. Where they really differ is the top woods and the finer hardware specs. So the Core MC is built for the modern minimalist. It features a highly responsive solid cedar top, finished in an ultra-thin... I'm just reading these things to you, I'm really sorry. I should be giving opinions. It's got a solid cedar top, which has got an ultra-thin, semi-gloss, black sort of vibe going on, and that lets the wood breathe, apparently. And it should let it vibrate freely, so it's the opposite of covering it in poly. It is paired with a mahogany neck, a 25.5-inch scale length, and a rosewood fingerboard, not Ovancol. If you want to plug it in, it keeps things pretty discreet with a Fishman Presys VT system, which is traditionally not my favorite pickup system, but I understand that they are at a certain budget point here. But because of that cedar top, you should get a very warm, sort of intimate, played-in tone, rather than a bright, jazzy tone. Jazzy? I mean jazzy. Snazzy. Right, let's have a quick listen to the Core MC Ovancol from Cort.
You and we look for land, no time for tears. Wasted water, all that is, and it doesn't make no
I really enjoyed that and listened to it a few times in my own time, and it's inspired me to make some more covers. Yeah, so you'll deal with that soon. Right, for contrast, now let's look at the flagship Gold MC6, which is all about vintage punch and vintage but new without being relict. So this one features a torrefied, which is heat-treated, solid Sitka spruce top, finished in a natural gloss, so quarter aiming to give you a more open, seasoned resonance of, let's say, a 20, 30-year-old guitar out of the box. That's what the torrefication does to it. It's not new, but it's very welcome on guitars of this price point. So Kurt stepped up on all the premium accoutrements, appointments, features. Yes. A walnut reinforced mahogany neck with a Comfort C profile, a, in my opinion, gorgeous Macassar ebony fretboard. Macassar. It's an ebony fretboard. And bridge is also ebony. There's vintage gold tuners and a genuine bone nut and saddle. It also features the upgraded, woohoo, Fishman Flex blend electronics, and I do prefer this pickup by far. And this will let you mix an under-saddle pickup with an internal condenser mic, so it gives you a less quacky, plicky-placky tone, a more real acoustic sound. Anyway, let's check out the fingerstyle playing on the gold MC6 Ovencol. It's almost divine. Where am I looking? There. Now, I watched that whole thing several times actually, and I love that piece of music. I instantly wanted to know what tuning it was in. I almost wrote a comment asking, but then I just figured it out. And that piece of music is a great guitar demo that is also a wonderful song. I dig it. Now, I'm getting serious Taylor vibes from both of these guitars, particularly the gold MC6. There's a tightness and clarity to the sound that makes both these guitars sound a lot more expensive than they are. So let's talk money. The gold MC6 Ovencol is around the 1,000 notes mark, but the core MC Ovencol could give you change out of about 600 notes. So a lot, certainly not budget, but considering what they are, that is a fine price for both of them. Bear in mind that the prices I state are approximate, and if you do want accurate pricing, please check out the links in the video description. That'll get you somewhere to some retail store somewhere. Anyway, these guitars seem beautifully built, and definitely by people who know what they're doing. They build a lot of guitars, and they are projecting a ton of high-end acoustic tone and volume without that boutique price tag. So, well, not even boutique, but Taylor, Martin, the guitars that are maybe double the price of this. If you are looking for an all-solid acoustic and you don't want to go super cheap, and you want something that punches probably way above its weight, the gasometer is a solid buy it now. Now, if you are ready to plug back in and you want the sound of a roaring vintage British stack, but your sound guy or family threatens to quit or leave you, every time you look at the volume knob, Tone King has the answer. This is the Tone King Royalist preamp, which is based on the Royalist amp, which we will see over there, right behind me, just there. Hello. Yes, Tone King have basically taken the sound and the feel of this brilliant Royalist Mark III amp and shoved it right into a pedal. Dirty. The pedal is powered by 3 actual 12AX7 tubes running at full high voltage. It even features a genuine tube-driven or valve-driven, depending on where you're from, phase inverter circuit that they call their 0-watt power amp, which is supposed to mimic the exact power stage compressions and interactions of a real amp. Fancy. You get 2 fully independent channels, and each one features standard volume, bass, middle, and treble controls, alongside a fat switch for some added punch. And most importantly, each channel has a toggle switch to select between 3 distinct eras of British rock voicings. Read Marshall. 1964, 1967, and 1970. I'll leave you to play with Google to figure out what they are. or go to the Tone King website. You might get a little clue. Despite the vintage tones, it is incredibly modern too, because it comes loaded with low latency IR cabinet simulation featuring 20 curated own hammer impulse responses, and there are 6 open IR slots, which means you can add your own. So, for input and output, it features stereo balanced XLR outputs and a bypassable stereo series effects loop, which the amp doesn't have, and I think this is an amazing addition. There's also a headphone output for silent practice. Nice. You can also have up to 128 MIDI presets and tweak everything via USB-C using the Tone King editor software. This thing is far from being just a preamp pedal. And that's good, because it ain't cheap. It is landing at a street price of around 600 notes, approximately. So for a genuine high voltage tube preamp that fits in your gig bag, even though it is pricey, I am so into this. It was so close to being my pick of the week this week, and I'm not sure if I chose correctly. Please let me know. The gasometer is a solid wallet on fire. I will test one this year, and my goodness, am I excited about it.
Andy's Pick of the Week.
And finally, we have arrived at my pick of the week. Now, let me be honest, I have had a white Falcon itch for a very long time. There's just something incredibly classy about a massive white guitar with gold hardware. But a real white Falcon costs roughly the same as a fairly decent used car. Thankfully, Gretsch has just dropped a limited edition cure for that itch. Gretsch has taken 3 of their popular Streamliner models and released them in this stunning limited edition vintage white finish with entirely gold hardware. And it is basically the working musician's white Falcon from looks. My personal favorite and the pick of the week is the G2622TG. It is a 16-inch double cutaway featuring an arched laminated maple body and a chambered center block, meaning that you can crank up the gain and the fuzz without it instantly feeding back, which is something I enjoy, although I do enjoy hollow body feedback sometimes. This one features a NATO set neck, which is carved into what should be comfortable, but possibly too small for me, soft C profile. That is topped with a 12-inch radius Laurel fingerboard, 22 medium jumbo frets, a real bone nut, and frankly gorgeous perloid big block inlays. Tonally, it is loaded with Gretsch's new Broadtron BT3S humbuckers, and these blend the Alnico 5 and Alnico 2 magnets. But the real upgrade here is the electronics in this. They've added a push-pull coil split on the master volume knob, giving you it should be a pretty big range of single coil clarity alongside that thick dual coil punch, alongside the thick dual coil punch. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And of course, it features the anchored adjustomatic bridge and a gold Bigsby B70 vibrato tailpiece for those obligatory Gretsch rock shimmers. If the 16-inch double cut is too big for you, they also released the G655TG Junior, which is a scaled down, more compact center block version that feels a little bit closer to a Les Paul size. It retains the arched maple construction, the NATO and the Broadtron BT3S pickups, and the push-pull coil splitting, but it swaps the tailpiece for a more compact Bigsby B50. Oh. And if you want maximum resonance, which some of us do, and old school jazz box vibes, and yeah, you've got maybe big arms, there is the fully hollow G2420TG, which is a large single cutaway that ditches the center block entirely for the parallel tone bars, which gives you this massive, deep acoustic bloom. It features the exact same electronics and the neck specs, but utilizes a Bigsby B60 vibrato and a secured Laurel bass for the bridge. A lot of specs on these Gretches. I should have just focused on one, but they're all so beautiful, and I think that it's worth talking about all three of them. Plus, it means Victor, the editor, has to put all the pictures on screen. And he's done the work, so why not show it off? Let's talk moolah, cannolis, nuts, money. If you need that white Falcon itch scratched, you can do that for around 600 notes, depending on where you live. My guess is that they might need some attention out of the box with setup and things like that, because I can't imagine they've managed to spend much time on them. But I do think Gretsch has put money in the right places. These are absolute stunners, and the gasometer is firmly at wallet on fire. I'm a little hot under the collar, to say the least. This is one of those guitars that if I didn't already have too many, you might find me accidentally picking one up if I walked into a shop and pick. I might. It's one of those guitars that at that price, in the right month, I could see myself walking out of a shop with one. Okay, the Patreon list is much longer this week. Thank you so much. And on your screen now, some awesome favorites with a few new additions. Hello there! It is the same over in YouTube channel land. The people that have joined the channel this week are added to the favorites from the past. Hello there to the familiar faces, and hello there to the new ones too. Also, a special shout out to the top tier members. Here we go. I'm a bit nervous about the first one. This is not what I've written, okay? These are the names of the people. Well, the names of the people that have supported the channel financially. This is the names they've given, the usernames. There we are. Okay. Andy deserves your cash, you freeloading gas guzzlers. That is a real name. That's the first one. Moving on. I'll take another. Antonio Cruz Beretta, Buddha Blue, Boom Shakalaka, Buzzle, Chris Kelly, Craig's Fist, Dirk, Doug Paget, Yindrik Strelka, Johnny McBadminton, Mike CQB241, Mike Lute, Andrew Morgan, Darius Lives, Gary O'Neill, holy moly, that's 8675309, Josh Tamberg, Man Dude Bro, PQ Deads, Robin Kelly, Sarung Narayan, Sanya Chen, Sarah Marie, and Southern Panda 33. Thank you, top tier members. We're on our way to making this solely audience supported. You rock. And as you've stayed to the end, here's a little fact that is not true, but sounds like it could be. Did you know, statistically, the average guitarist spends 4.2 years of their life tuning the G string? See you next week. Bye!